I love it. I love it. I love it. Once again, welcome to the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Yours truly, Pastor Kevin, doing what I love because I simply love what I'm doing. I'm going to take time out to introduce the some and present the other amazing young lady here joining us, one of our featured children's authors right here on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. And once again, we thank God for our partner networks who are also chiming in, trying to do everything in our power to allow this young lady to be seen and heard around the world via the GMAP Broadcast Network. No further ado, Alicia Stonecastle is here. Good evening, young lady. How you doing?
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Your energy is contagious. I know we've talked earlier about how I'm kind of calm and collective, but you've done the impossible, which is basically have me, speak in a broadcast network. I'm an introvert 100%, so this is outside of my nature.
Mm.
So I really appreciate that. I'm humble and honored for the opportunity to be here and to talk about my new book and this opportunity.
Oh my good, and we thank God for you, and we are grateful. And you know, I'm making history today, ladies and gentlemen. You know, she
Yes.
just she made it public. I'm making history right now. Ah, well, once again,
Yes.
let me take time out first and foremost, Alicia, to thank you so much for just simply being here with us on today, and thank you for accepting the invitation to be a part of our broadcast network family as one of our featured children's authors. So I want you to do me the kind favor. Let's get right to it. I want you to step up to the plate. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from. Who is Alicia Stonecastle? Tell us.
It is my pleasure, and I'll do my best. So, my pen name is Alicia Stonecastle. I chose Alicia because it's in honor of my grandmother that I never met, my paternal grandmother. So, I feel like this is a way to sort of honor ancestors. I am from Mexico, from a small town called San Andres, Tuxtla, Veracruz, which is on the old Gulf of Mexico. And I was born there, and then I moved to a different area, which is Villahermosa, Tabasco, and I grew up there until I was 18, and then I moved to other areas of Mexico, but then I moved to the United States and got married when I was 21. So I've been married for 30 years to my wonderful husband, JC, who is also an author of this book. In a minor way, I guess I should say. But yeah, that's basically my background. I do have a master's in organizational leadership, and I worked as a product owner in technology in Nashville, Tennessee.
Ah, very busy young lady, and I tell you, once again, I'm excited to have you here today. And I want to send a shout out to your husband, of course, who is co-author. So hey, you know, we're going to give him a little honor, a little shout out as well. And you know, the kingdom that never existed. You know,
Yes.
it really, really grabbed your attention when you think about it. But I want you to take time out, if you don't mind. The kingdom that never existed. Now it says the quest. You know, I can't. Let me see that. The quest for the very last mosquito in the world. Mmm. Now you got to break this down for me, Alicia. Tell us a little bit about this current publication, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so this is basically the work that comes from an entire family. I mean, these are bits and pieces of my husband, my children, my brother-in-law, who all kind of add a little bit of their sense of humor to this. I wanted to create a story that will make children laugh. We have so much tragedy going on in the world. So many wars and things that I figure there was a good time here to just bring a story that will make people laugh and have a good time as a family. So for some reason the idea of the title came to my mind, but the quest for the very last mosquito in the world is literally a prank that I did to my daughter, my oldest daughter. She's now 26, but at the time she was 8. And she kept insisting that she wanted a pet, and I kept telling her, no, Julia, you're not responsible enough. You don't, you don't keep your room clean. I'm not going to get you a pet because you can't handle it right now. And so she kept insisting. So one day we parked in a store, and it was in front of a pet store, and she brought it up again. I want a puppy. And then I said, okay, not you, not me. We're going to walk into the store, and we're going to purchase a mosquito that you're going to pick, whichever mosquito you want. And we're going to see the lifespan is short. So we're going to find out if you are responsible enough to handle a pet. And I said that because I wanted to see her reaction, right? Again, I love to prank, especially my children. And so she crossed her arms, and, she looked away for a minute, and then she turned around and looked at me and said, Mom, you're weird. And so I busted out laughing, and because of that idea, that's how this story came to life. And I was like, well, you see a lot of children's books, but you don't see a lot of, themes that have a bug or a mosquito as the pet.
Right,
And
right.
so that's why, it's the quest for the very last mosquito in the world. And so in the story, it is actually her father, the king, who gives her a pet mosquito and tells her that, she needs to take care of the mosquito. But then the mosquito goes missing.
Ah,
So Princess Julia the character is based on my oldest daughter, who is smart, fun, and sassy. And then she has a mentor, which is Jessie the monkey girl. She's a scribe. And Jessie is based on my middle child, Jessica, who loves any kind of story that has to do with superheroes. She's going to know all about it. So I was like, okay, how can I transfer, her knowledge of superheroes into my story? Well, she knows all things fairy tale. So
ah.
she's the one that, writes the stories of the kingdom and knows all things fairy tale. So she can advise Princess Julia of any kind of danger or risk that she's encountering, as they go on a quest to try to rescue Little Sucker, which is the name of the mosquito.
Ah. Wow.
And so,
Wow,
yeah,
it's amazing me. I mean, a pet mosquito. Why? You know what?
yes.
You are a prankster. Okay, keep going. Let me hear you.
Yeah, so they go on a quest, and then you're gonna find like similar stories to what Snow White had to deal with, or riddles and things like that. But it's still trying to keep that modern, wrapped kind of style of rhyming, because I'm also rhyming in my story. But it, because I love history and I love ancestry, I had to put all that stuff into the book. So, for example, Princess Julia's dress. People that are familiar with history might recognize the dress from Eleanor de Medici, which was the wife of the Medici, member of the Medici family in Florence. I always felt that her style was very elegant, and she was from the Renaissance times.
Right.
If you look at the castle in the story, it might look familiar to the Tudor style in England, but it also has like the roof is blue, so it's a combination of tiles that I saw in Spain, and also Gaudi, which was an architect from Spain, that used to do, the roof of the house is similar to like a mythical dragon creature. So, that inspired me to do that. And then the villain, which you don't see in the video, but she's also a great villain. My husband was the one that came up with the idea for the character, for the name, Morticia Frogby.
Mm, wow. I tell you, you know what? This is amazing me. I'm still, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still kind of stuck. At a pet mosquito. That just kind of blows me away. I tell you, boy, it's something else. But once again, we thank God for you. We thank God for each and every one of you joining us. Once again, Alicia Stonecastle is one of our featured children's authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Please, by all means, stop by our platform, click on the tab that is simply titled Children's Authors, and I promise you, you'll see a copy of the current publication I'm showing you on the screen, The Kingdom That Never Existed. The quest for the very last mosquito in the world. I just want you to be aware of that. And of course, Alicia, I have to find out from you, is this in fact your very first release, your first publication, or is this a follow up to something that you may have previously written before?
No, this is my very first release. And of course, sometimes we are like our worst critics. So I waited for a long time to get this done because I felt like, what if I'm not good at writing stories? And what if I need work? And, that kind of thing. So I took a long time, but, I remember like 15, 20 years ago thinking my first rhymes for the book, and I was like, I want the mountains to be pink, and I want to have upside down fountains, and all these ideas. Um, I had them in my head the entire time. I just didn't have the confidence to go ahead and do it. So a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, it's time to do it. I've done everything else that I wanted to do in my life, get my master's, be an executive, this and that. So now I want to focus on, getting my creative side out of the way. So I started working on something that I knew was going to take, because I have so many ideas for so many other novels and things that I want to do. And I was like, okay, I need to focus on something. Writing a children's book is only 24 pages, less than 1,000 words. Is a little more attainable for me because I'm still, working full time. I have a day job and it's very demanding.
Mm.
So that's when I decided I need to study, the type of story that I want to do. And it's supposed to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, like getting more of the technical side of, when you write a story, what are the elements that you need to have in your story. So I started studying all that. And then I started adding, okay, I need to have a hero, I need to have a mentor, I need to have an antagonist. And that's how I started putting all those things together. And I mean, as I'm doing this, I'm becoming like very surprised to hear and see, the feedback that people are giving me. So I went into this website and I submitted my project to this editor that I really think highly of, because I saw her resume, Jennifer Reese. She was the editor for the Hunger Games. And I was
Mm.
like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm going to submit my project to her. Surely she's going to say no. I need work, right?
Mm.
So I submitted, she responded, and she was like, I'll be thrilled to work with you. And then she gave me a beautiful letter where she said, you get your audience. For someone that has never done this before, I can tell you've done your homework. And the edits were minor. So I'm like thrilled to hear that, this is my first opportunity, it's my first book, and I've gotten some really good editorial reviews from it.
Right.
And so now I'm working on the characters, trying to get some merchandise for them, and just order some keychains and some
Ah.
other things I want to do. But yeah, so I'm thrilled and excited. Is my first book, and it's not going to be my last one. I can tell you this.
I can understand that, and I once again we thank God for you once again, Alicia, and I want you guys to make sure that you go out and show your love, care, concern, and support. Purchase a copy of this amazing, fresh, new publication that is released for you and your children. We also want you to make sure you share this information with all of your followers, your family, your friends. And you know what? When you do so, make sure you go back and leave a review. That's going to be so very important. We'll get back to that. But Alicia, now that you look at the process of writing this publication and releasing it, and finding out that you are quote unquote now a professional author, you look at it from the beginning, the process that you have taken, and you look at it from when you have finally been blessed to disseminate and release this publication. Let me ask you this: once you look back over the entire process, what's next? I mean, what's next for you as an author?
Yeah, so I have an aunt. She signed up with Planeta, which is a very well known um, publishing company in Latin America, I think in Spain, and she suggested to me to try to get signed up. I don't want to go that route because I'm going to feel pressure to have to come up with material, and I do want to have like the ability to have the freedom to do exactly what I want to do, however I want to do at my own pace. So that is something that I'm not looking at doing right now because of that. But I do want to release more books. I do have, I would say probably like 10 or 15 stories out there that are, on top of um, other like sequels. And for this particular book, The Kingdom That Never Existed, I feel like I have about 4 or 5 other stories that I want to put in. And so just, continue to write. Maybe when I retire, I would consider doing this full time, if I'm still enjoying it, but it's not something that I'm that serious about because I know the pressure is going to be different. And I don't think I'm at a situation right now that I can give it more time than I have.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Now,
yeah.
now, when you look at it, what was this process? Was it fairly difficult for you, or was it something that just once you began, it just kind of rolled out and kind of completed itself, so to speak? Was the process of writing this publication was it difficult for you at all?
Not at all. And I was pretty surprised. I think it has to do with my personality. I have the type of personality that has to do a lot of research. And, that sometimes that kind of holds me back because I'm spending too much time in trying to get things right instead of actually just getting the product out there. I mean, even at work, sometimes I could tell people gets kind of frustrated because I tend to do that a little too much. So by the time I was ready to do the publishing piece, it wasn't that complicated. And I mean, I've done everything myself from, looking at Amazon KDP, using their software and their formats, and then going into this other website called Ingram Spark so that I can distribute to the rest of the world. I mean, my books have been sold in Germany, Canada, Japan. They are in all the major retailers right now. So I'm now trying to figure out the marketing side of things. But no, it wasn't difficult, but I did spend a lot of hours doing research. I
Yeah.
mean, literally my weekends I spend looking at what I'm gonna do next and learn. I'm a life learner, so I do spend a lot of time doing research.
Yeah, yeah. Well, once again, we thank God for you, and of course, we want to do everything in our power, everything we can to assist you while you're on this journey of being a children's author. And we want you to know we want you to just pick up the phone and give us a call. Let us know what it is that we can do to continue to assist you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And when you do that, I want you to know that the answer will always be yes, and you'll never have to ask me twice, okay? I want you to know that. And I
I
tell you,
really appreciate that.
and if in fact, and I know we have, we're gonna encourage those viewers and listeners from not just GMAP but our partner networks as well to show their love, care, concern, and support. Purchase a copy of your publications. Encourage them to make sure that they share the information and leave a review once they do so. And speaking of that, if someone did want to show their support for you right this moment, I mean, what's the process if they wanted to purchase a copy of your publication today?
So there are several options that they could use. The book is being sold at Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million. I mean, you name it. I don't think I have found a website online where they can purchase the book. So they have plenty of options. I haven't done the selling the book directly myself yet. Maybe that might be an option later on, but I would really appreciate if they could share, the feedback, reviews, and things like that in those websites if they purchase the book. But if they can, if they go in there and look at some of the reviews right now, I think they're going to see that they're going to have a great time with the family reading it because they're going to get some good laughs out of the book. It's funny, it's humorous, it's refreshing, it's a new fairy tale. Some of my reviewers have compared this to Shrek, so it's sort of like that type of fairy tale,
Mm-hmm.
funny sense of humor. Yeah.
You know, I hear you saying that, but speaking to you and and seeing that you have a sense of humor, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to make
Yeah,
sure I figure. Even to hear you laugh is like an upgrade to me. I mean, wow. But
yeah.
and I tell you, boy, I tell you, but hey, you know what? I believe that it is going to be a very encouraging and a motivational book for a lot of people. Again, I'm going to encourage those viewers and listeners out there to show their support. Now, if in fact someone wanted to reach out and touch base with you, maybe connect with you, if they want to, maybe have more of a conversation on an individual level about what you're doing, when, where, and what you may have planned for the future. How does that go? I mean, do you have some information that you don't mind sharing where people can reach out and connect with you?
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm on social media. If you look for Alicia Stonecastle, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And yeah, I'll be more than happy. I know there are a lot of people out there that are wanting to write a book. Again, I've done everything myself. Kindle, Amazon Kindle, Ingram Spark. If I can help in any way, I'll be more than happy to. I mean, I know the journey is not easy, and I believe in supporting each other and trying to do the best that we can to, to help others. So servant leadership is a big deal to me, and if I can help in any way, I'll be happy to do so.
Oh, that is amazing. And of course, we will not allow them to forget about little old GMAP Broadcast Network. We're down here in the lower left hand corner of everything in small print. But they tell me that small print is the most important print on the paper. So, we'll
Yeah.
take that title. So, if you want to reach out to Alicia, you want to purchase a copy of her latest publication, by all means, we encourage you to reach out to us. And of course, we will, in fact, make sure we connect the dots. And we're going to be inviting you back, Alicia, just to find out how things are going, some of the things that you may have coming up, because I'm telling you, I'm feeling it that your books are going to end up in places like schools and libraries. I'm just feeling that, and of course, you're going to be doing a few book signings, and when you prepare some of those things for your immediate future and some of the things that you have planned or that may even come up while you're on the journey, again, don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, let us know, and we'll be honored to assist you in any way, shape, form, or fashion that we can. And of course, again, I'm going to tell you publicly the answer will always be yes, and you'll never have to ask me twice. Now, I got one more question for you before we let you go. When
Yeah.
people, or when the children or the grandchildren would have you receive a copy of this publication and they read it, what is it that you personally want them to hold on to and take with them after they do so?
So that is a great question because I've actually wrote this book and been thinking about writing with the idea of my grandchildren and my great grandchildren knowing who I was. One of the things that I've done, I love ancestry and I love doing research on, my genealogy tree and all that. And one of the regrets that I have is when I go do that, a lot of times, particularly females, I can't find any information on them other than their names. And so, what I want them to take from this book is that if there's something they want to do in life, all they have to do is just have the will to do it and do it. And this is a way for them to get to know me and who I was. And I want them to be proud of the fact that, I was an immigrant. I came to this country. I work hard and I did everything that I wanted to do, and I want them to be proud of me, proud of the family, proud of my children, because I try to raise them well. They're great girls. They're all hard workers, and so it is a family legacy for me. Is the fact that they will have material to get to know me, and an opportunity to see where we came from and what is it that we're all about, which
Yeah,
is, to be in this world to love God and to love one another and try to do the best we can.
amen. I appreciate that. And once again, I appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon to kind of spend a few moments here with us here on the GMAP Broadcast Network, as well as our partner networks, sending a shout out to the Roku Network, Amazon Fire TV, and the Comcast Network. We thank God for you guys as well. The kingdom that never existed, the quest, the, the quest for the very last mosquito in the world. If you want to find it, you might have to reach out to Alicia and she'll let you know. But I really appreciate you being here, and of course, once again, we'll be inviting you back if you have any questions or if you want to reach out and have us assist you in any way. By all means, don't hesitate to call. Once again, she is one of our featured children's authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Stop by our platform. Click on the tab that is simply titled Children's Authors, and you will see a copy of the publication I'm currently showing you on the screen. The Kingdom That Never Existed, the quest for the very last mosquito in the world. Don't forget to show your love, care, concern, purchase a copy or copies. Share it with all of your followers, your family, your friends, your grandparents, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunties, all that stuff. And you know what? Share it on social media. You share everything else on social media, share this too.
That's right.
I'm just saying, But at the same time, Alicia, we want to thank you so much for taking time out and being here. And we're hoping and praying that you continue to do what it is that you love to do, because we don't want you to fall out of love with it. We want you to fall more in love with it, so you can continue to disseminate this type of information to people around the world. So with that being said, we appreciate you. I want you to be sure to continue to be a blessing and be a blessing to others. And I want you to send my love and my shout out to your husband for co-authoring this publication too for me, okay? You want to send a shout out to him right now? Send a shout out to him right now. Go ahead.
He's upstairs, so he's not going to be able to hear me, but I do appreciate the opportunity. It's an honor, and thank you so much, and sending my blessings to you and the network, and I really hope that you guys become very successful in what you do, and thank you so much for the support.
We thank you so much as well. We'll be in touch. We'll let you know where we go from here, but until then, have a fantabulous rest of your evening. Be blessed and be a blessing, and I'll look forward to speaking with you again soon, okay?
You too. Thank you.
All right, Alicia Stonecastle, one of our featured children's authors right here on the number one station in the nation, the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Stay close, don't move. We'll be back with more right after this, right here on the show.
This splendid fairy tale begins behind the pink mountains. A kingdom full of fluffy trees and upside-down fountains. It's happy here, a place where things are really very twisted. I'll know it as the kingdom that never existed.